Good evening, docs. I entered EBS a year and a half ago. I am I came from corporate medicine and decided to leave in 2018. My specialty by trade is I'm a maternal fetal medicine specialist or a high-risk obstetrician. And I felt at the time that I could do better on my own. So I hung out to shingle without nearly a clue. A couple months before COVID, we were able to survive that, but it became clear to me that I needed to know a little bit more than just hanging out to shingle. So I was trying to find like-minded people like myself, because when I told my mentors, a couple of my mentors, that I was going to do private practice, they all categorically told me that I was crazy. So a friend directed me to EBS and Dr. Una, and I binged and kind of did my research and took the plunge and entered in a year and a half ago. This entire week, we've learned in the school over time, and I strategically applied it. I made a big decision to change my EMR system, which after I recovered from my minor heart attack psychologically, I applied the principles that I learned in this school. And in holding claims this year, Q1, Q2, were actually, I met my revenue goals, which amazed me, because I just knew in the lizard brain that it wasn't going to be successful. Even though I didn't feel like I was financially comfortable to expand the business, with EBS and community support and everybody, I hired a sonographer. We've increased our patient. I think we've almost doubled our monthly patient census.
Wow.
Yeah, I took a look at that. I was like, yeah, that's what last month we doubled for sure. And it's so great. So that's the tangible money win. The team that I had to put in place was, I love my team. They are marketing for me. I took the time on the front end, again, learning what I'm learning through school every Wednesday and every Thursday, and built in a structure, took the time to do that, and was actually able to step away from my practice as solo practitioner from time to time. After I kind of got over the mental mindset, I am becoming quite comfortable in not having to check in the office at
Oh,
all.
wonderful. Wow,
Yeah,
that's a true CEO move.
I know. It felt good. I didn't check in all week, but today I did check in, so that was good. Um, what else? The mindset. I think that is really the foundation behind my success, because I had to get over some things that I thought I knew. I
Mhm.
had to open myself to some discomfort, and then kind of figure out as I go along, because I was a little nervous that the neurons weren't going to be as quick with this. Is totally, we never learned this in med school, right? So, but it's so good. You have your classmates who can help problem solve. Sometimes you might not be able to see a perspective, but one or two ideas, and you go, oh yeah, how come I didn't see that? So I can't even begin to remember what my pre-EBS self was like, but
Wow.
I feel today that even though it's like climbing some steps. You kind of climb the next step. And when you get up to the next step, I feel shaky, but then I settle, and then I'm able to actually look up a couple steps ahead, which prior, when I was looking at my practice before EBS, I thought, how the hell am I going to retire from this? Because I felt like I was just cemented in it. But now I can actually step away from this business and turn it into an asset. It's nowhere near where it's going to be, but at least I can see the possibility, which is so good. That's like the first vision clarity that I've been able to get.
And that's huge, right? Because now you have a plan, not just for now, which now is pretty phenomenal, but like Dr. Una says, you have a plan for the future, for your dream life, for retirement, for even making the business work for you, which is fantastic. What would you say, Doctor? Somebody listening to you will be like, well, she's got it all together. I mean, she hit her goals in the first quarter, the second quarter. And she's making all this expansion, doubled her patient volume. What would you say to them if they're thinking about the school, but they're looking at you and seeing that there's a disparity between all that you've achieved and where they are now?
We all started somewhere. I wish I could say I entered EBS with all this in a bag of chips, but that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
The work I put in, the work and the investment, because I don't consider it cost prohibitive. I could have gone to theoretical business school, spent 4 times the money,
or got an MBA,
3 times the time, and come out with theoretical knowledge that I still wouldn't have been able to apply to my business. I considered EntreMD and EBS applied business school. And I looked at it and I looked at the successes and I did the lives and I lurked and I said, well, if they can do it, I need to just look at my obstacles and my mind drama and all of the things that I'm throwing in the way of telling myself why I couldn't do it, and just really look myself in the mirror and say, girl, you're going to have to poop or get off the pot. Because there's nobody coming to the rescue.
Oh, we're the kids.
You don't have a infinite amount of time. So I think it can be done. If you put your mind to it and you follow the program, you'll figure out what can work for you.
Thank you so much for that. It goes back to what Dr. Una said, that once you're coachable, once you're committed to your results, and once you stay in communication, you'll do well. You'll do well. So Dr. Heather Stanley-Christian is an example of that. Is an example of somebody who has gleaned everything that she has gotten from the school. And she's telling you that she didn't have all of these things before she got into the school. Even when you talked about team building and you talked about hiring and all of that, those were gained from being in the school. So what other questions you have? I want you to go ahead. The link is still in the comments. I want you to go ahead and fill out an application because it is your time. It's your time. There's no time like now, right? And she said something very, very amazing about the school. I always tell people what sets the EntreMD Business School apart is the fact that we are practical. It's not a lot of theory. Even the live sessions that we have, Dr. Una does them in workshop form, similar like this. So you're not just learning, but you're learning to do. So that's amazing. Let's give Dr. Heather Stanley-Christian some love in the comments. We are really just blown away by what all you've done. This is so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Happy to. Thank you.